Hello and welcome to my space here. I'm going to be doing a reading today I just kind of wanted to do a little reading about love just to see what messages come through. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that are like seeking love. Like a lot of people feel like this sense of like boredom and um, loneliness, like even in relationships. And so there's people that are like craving deeper love, and you can create deeper love within an existing relationship, but it's like requires you to, use each other as like kind of like your mirror to help you grow, so that they help you evolve. So they're because like if you're not evolving, then your relationship's not going to be evolving. It's going to be like stuck in a little like in unhealthy patterns. Like you'll just be like it's like pressing on the gas and pressing on the brake at the same time, and your tires are spinning, but you're not getting anywhere. And this creates burnout. A lot of people are feeling burnout. And they're searching for love, but really what they're searching for is self-care, self-love. It's like doing those things, taking action on the things that you know are going to make you feel better. That's how we like reparent ourselves with our masculine energy, by taking action on doing the things that are going to create the changes in our life that we're desiring. So a lot of people are craving like they're really healing their relationships with their parent, like through their parents and what they learned through their parents, and their own mother and father, how to become their own mother and father. And that's all that teaches us, is how to balance our masculine and feminine energies. And so how a lot of us learned how to take care of ourselves, we learned from the people before us. Obviously our parents are our caregivers. And so it's about learning how, because maybe the way they cared for themselves isn't the way that you need to be cared for. So you have to develop a relationship with yourself intimately enough to know how to take care of yourself. So then when you get into a relationship, or through that relationship, you can communicate your needs a lot more easier, and they can be a lot more clear because you understand what you need. But what's most important is that you learn how to meet those needs yourself. So then you don't feel like disconnected or lonely, or like, you'll still have those emotions come up, but you'll be able to move through them a lot easier because you know how to care for yourself in those moments of deep emotion or deep grief or sadness or feeling abandoned or feeling lonely. That's how we learn how to heal our feminine energy, by learning how to hold space for ourselves, like you would hold like a little baby, like as a mother. And then that really helps you to like self-soothe and nurture yourself in ways that are going to help you be healthier, that are going to help you feel stronger, that are going to help you feel, safe and loved and protected. So we just heal those energies within us by learning how to take action. When we take action, we do the things that our body is asking us to do, or that our intuition, or maybe that our guides are asking us to do, and we take action on that guidance. Then that's us taking action, and then that's what creates manifestation. And so then you're applying what you desire and what you want for yourself, and then you're taking action on it. And then this creates momentum behind you. And so that every time you do that, and you take action on that guidance, then it propels you forward. But a lot of us, what we do is resist taking the action. So we resist taking care of us. We want somebody else to do it for us. Like we're like babies crying out, like, "Oh, help me, somebody help me." I feel, especially when you get tired or when you get sick, and you want that comfort. You want that. And what we have to learn to do is comfort ourselves in those moments. How can we care for ourselves in those times? Instead of reverting, well, a lot of us do is we form addictions when we don't get that nurturing and that caring. And so we'll look to outside things like food, or, alcohol, or, cigarettes. And then we, become reliant on those things to make us feel comforted, when really what we need to be doing is maybe connecting with the element of earth. That's how I connect with my mother energy, and how I feel safe and grounded here on earth, is by connecting to the element earth, by literally imagining I'm a tree most of the time. So you don't even need to like get outside to connect with earth. You can use your intention and your imagination to connect with the element of earth, so that you feel comforted and cared for and soothed in those times of upheaval or stress, or without looking to like somebody else, or without looking to a substance as a way to generate that feeling for you. You can literally generate it within yourself by connecting with that element. Connecting with the elements is one of the most healing things you can do, and it's free. You can use your imagination. You can literally touch a tree or get outside. You can take a shower, or you can, go swimming, or you can just walk by the water, or you can literally just drink water or hold water. So that's really a lovely way to connect with elements and care for ourselves instead of depending on somebody else to do it for us. Okay, so I'm going to do it differently. What do we need to know in regards to love right now, Spirit? Ooh, 10 of Cups. Yeah, people are wanting this like happy family, and this is like ultimate fulfillment, like your dreams coming true. This is emotional fulfillment, feeling very loved, feeling very open, feeling very celebratory, just feeling, united. I love the rainbow because it's always a card of hope, or it's always a symbol of hope to me. The rainbow is. And there's like children dancing, and like I was saying, it's like inner child healing. And you can see like the mother and the father on the card. So that's what I feel there. It's like family healing too. So like, what did you learn what family was? And is what you learned what family is how you see family? Like, so really just like shifting your values and what does family mean to you? What does like this happy ending, so to speak, look like for you? Like, what does it look like for you? And then just like getting really clear. And then like I was saying, like taking action. So what would you want your family to look like? Who would you want to be, and then taking action on those, taking action steps to become that person or to have that relationship. So if you want a relationship filled with lots of love and lots of intimacy, this isn't just going to come from, a partner. This is going to come from you cultivating that relationship with yourself. So getting really intimate with yourself, really getting to know yourself and feeling whole within yourself. To me, this always represents like the masculine and feminine within us and then like the inner child, kind of like what I was saying. So I like that there. That's what we need to know right now. Let's see, what are we, like what is being illuminated or what are we learning right now when it comes to relationships? The World. Okay, so this is like completion of a cycle, like wrapping things up. Yeah, it's just like, I feel like it's like this end of family patterns that may like have held you back or kept you like, okay, so a lot of people think of love in a very limited way. Like they think that love can only come from like a romantic partner, or like love can only come from children, or love can only come from having a family. Love can only come from, it's like, love is universal. Love is, expansion and freedom. It's not attachment. Like if you can't experience love without a partner, if you can't experience love without external stimulation, then that's attachment. It's not love. So like love is, it doesn't like cling, it expands. And so that's what I'm getting there with the World. It's kind of like an expansion card. Let's get one more there though. What are we learning with the World? Temperance. So this is like emotional healing, emotional balance. I really do feel like it's like this energy of like, kind of like balancing the masculine and feminine energies within yourself. And just feeling like very grounded, but also very connected to spirit. Because a lot of us, we have attachment wounds like towards our family. A lot, if you like grew up in dysfunctional families or like codependent dynamics, then it can be really hard to let go of attachments to, our parents or, to our idea of what family looks like or to our idea of what love looks like. And when your perception of family and love have been very distorted, then your whole like, kind of like your belief system is going to be uprooted, and you have to like shift your beliefs and start to align and start to create the kind of love that you want to receive from another person. You have to give it to yourself. So you have to practice receiving that love. And for me, it's been really hard to receive the energy of like unconditional love, like from God and from Christ and that energy, because it feels like nothing I've ever experienced before. So I've had to train my body. I've had to train my energy to allow this energy in to expand and open up rather than shrink away from it because I don't feel worthy of it, but like allowing myself because I can just feel very like fearful at first when you're allowing these new, because what we're receiving is new energy updates and downloads through our DNA and through our astral bodies, and we're ascending, and so we're just starting to become in alignment with our highest self rather than looking to the outside to create our identity. We're learning that our identity comes, like, what is identity? Like, you get to create your identity, and you can shed that over and over and over again. But we become very attached to who we are and who we've been, that it can be hard to let go of those aspects of ourselves. And that creates a lot of emotional healing, which would be like temperance. So, like, learning how to let go of those aspects of yourself that don't serve you anymore, and that don't serve you, but feel really comfortable and feel very familiar. And maybe you're like, oh, if I didn't have this, maybe I wouldn't be me. It's like allowing yourself to evolve, allowing yourself to grow, like I was saying. Because if you're not evolving, your relationships aren't going to be evolving. You're going to be attracting the same kind of relationships over and over and over again until you kind of like get the message and take action on becoming the love you want to receive, rather than waiting for it to come without you, or like come from outside of you. Like, a lot of people, they don't want to change until they're like, I'll change when this and this and this changes, or but then what actually change happens from the inside out. So you have to take those steps first, and then this creates change. But it also creates emotional healing, and it requires you to let go of aspects of yourself that you become really identified to, and ask you to give up those. And then you kind of become new, and then you're aligning with this relationship or this love that you want. And it's not about having it first and then being able to relax into that energy. It's about feeling the energy. It's like feeling this energy without having it. So feeling this 10 of Cups, feeling emotionally fulfilled, feeling balanced, feeling, heavenly. It's about feeling that all on your own first. Because before this is the 9 of Cups, and it's like feeling that all on your own. But this is possible. This 10 of Cups is possible if you can learn how to love yourself in this way first, without, the outside family or what it's supposed to look like. You have to generate that feeling first within yourself. I cannot reiterate that enough. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do like that King of Pentacles fall. It'll probably come out again maybe, but I want to know about the masculine energy right now. So remember, this doesn't have to be a physical masculine person. It's the masculine energy within ourselves. So this could have to do with father healing. So keep your mind open when it comes to like listening to, like, remember, gender does not apply. So this is the masculine energy within us. The part of us that takes action. For me, example, like my masculine energy, like what I learned it means to be a masculine was kind of very like distorted. And so an empowered masculine would take action right away on his guidance, but distorted masculine energy would question it and not trust it and procrastinate, and I tend to procrastinate. That's a very masculine aspect within me. So remember, there are aspects within yourself. Don't attach it to like an outside person, because that will just fuck you up every time. Because this is an inward journey. If we want to attract deep, intimate, romantic love, we have to be deep, intimate, and romantic with ourselves first. There's just no other way around it. We can try to force it. We can try to manipulate it, like we've been taught. A lot of women have been taught to manipulate it, or we're in relationships where that's not happening, and we feel very lonely and isolated, and it's not what we want, but we can't get ourselves out of the situation because we don't know how to take action, because we probably procrastinate. It's a very distorted masculine energy that runs the society, kind of. So look into your own father and mother and look at how they operate, and just start to ask questions, and ask your spirit guides, and then meditate on it and ask, like, what do I need to do to heal my masculine energy? So what do we need to know about the masculine energy right now collectively? Oh yes, definitely feels relevant. This is the 8 of Swords, so this is a lot of fear, feeling trapped, feeling bound. A lot of men feel this way right now, like they feel trapped in these relationships, whether it be with themselves or like this is like mental loops in your mind, like traps, like literally that keep you stuck. This is about freeing yourself, about learning how to like save yourself, because I feel like just as much as like women are like, oh, I need to be saved, there are a lot of men that feel like they need to be saved too, and that a lot of men were raised by very cold women, and so they'll begin to attract very cold women because they're just acting out a wound that was created from their parent. And so they'll stay stuck in these relationships, stuck. This is a card of feeling stuck and bound. But they're going to want deep love. They want a woman, that treats them like a king, that treats them like a god, But a lot of women don't know how to treat themselves like queens and goddesses. And so this can make men feel very trapped in relationships. but they feel like they have to stay because they have all this responsibility and they can't, and it's just like, this is something they're learning to give up and learning how to free themselves from these. Like, if you want change, then you have to really step into your masculine energy and take steps towards freeing yourself. You have to take those steps, and it starts with the mind. You have to free yourself in your mind, knowing that you're not trapped, knowing that, there's always creative outlets if you can get out of your own mind and listen to your intuition. A lot of men are being guided to their intuition, and this helps heal your anxiety, is tapping into your intuition. This is a card of anxiety. So it's like, yeah, feeling very bound, very trapped. Like they don't see a way out because this girl's like blindfolded, but she could easily get herself out of these things and like free herself. So it starts within the mind, like believing, and start telling yourself like, I can do this, rather than like your ego telling you that you can't, or those voices. You have to begin to discern what voices in your mind are your ego. They're going to be very obnoxious, and they're going to be rude, and they're going to be loud, and they're going to be like not very nice. Those are voices of your ego. They're going to scare you. But your intuition will be that gentle voice guiding you, telling you things. Everything's going to be okay. You're safe. Like, we have to learn to quiet our minds so much that we hear that voice within ourselves that's guiding us, that's teaching us how to free ourselves. Okay, one more there. What about the masculine energy in this? Actually, no, I'm going to move on to the feminine. What do we need to know about the feminine energy right now? Where are they at? Oh, yes, I love it. The High Priestess. This is a great card. This is about your intuition. So this is really about seeing a higher perspective. This is really seeing beyond the trap in your mind. This is like seeing things from a higher perspective, feeling very supported by your intuition. This could be things that are like just being illuminated right now is what I'm getting. And these could be like beliefs within yourself that the feminine's like, I'm also picking up like tapping into like Akashic records and like just doing a lot of like studying within the self, like self-mastery kind of is what I'm picking up with the High Priestess. So really tuning into your intuition, being in the silence. She needs silence to be able to receive. That's what I'm getting. The feminine's in this energy of learning how to be receptive and really trust her intuition, really follow her intuition. And this is like, because I also have moments where I'm more in my like masculine energy. And this is a card associated with fear. I'm picking up from the red here. I've been feeling a lot of like masculine energy, like feeling very like associated with the root chakra. So a lot of things around stability might be coming up, like home or finances, or like there's fears there. And about family too. The family, and that'd be like this 10 of Cups is associated with our root chakra. And so when our root chakra is in balance, we can feel a lot of fear. We feel unstable. That's why it's really important, like I said, to connect with the element of earth. That's associated with our root chakra. You can also call upon Archangel Michael. I've been working with him like crazy. And I've been shaking my butt a lot. That helps me to like literally feel not trapped. Like, who knew that shaking your butt could help you feel free, But it's just moving that energy up from your root chakra. And when your root chakra is feels very stable and is very open, then it also moves up into your heart center, and your heart center feels very open, and then it moves up into your like higher chakras and your crown chakra, which would be associated with the High Priestess. And then you're receiving download. So a lot of the feminine energy might be receiving, and I like that she has a crown, like on her crown chakra here. I'm just seeing that a lot of feminines are receiving a lot of downloads, really connecting with their very feminine energy, which is great. I love that. Okay, and then one more. What's the advice? What is your advice for relationships right now? Remember, this doesn't have to apply to just like romantic relationships or like soulmate connections. This could be any relationship in your life. It could be a coworker, it could be a friend, it could be a family member. So keep things open, It could be anything. It doesn't have to just be romantic relationships. It's all kinds of relationships, because I've done a lot of my relationship healing actually through like my family. And our family can teach us a lot about ourselves if we allow it, if we allow ourselves to be receptive, to take a step back and not be attached to our pain. But when we're attached to our pain, we can feel very like trapped and tied down, but they're just mental traps. Because on a soul level, the truth that you're already free. you have to connect with your spirit in order to feel that, to generate that feeling. Otherwise, you will feel very powerless. That's the energy I'm getting from masculines. They're feeling very powerless, but this is teaching them how to step into their power. So they might be in positions where they feel very powerless. That's the solar plexus chakra, right in the center of the stomach. So the advice, the card that flew out was, of course, the Knight of Swords. So this is like, I feel like communication healing. I also feel like it's like not rushing towards anything. Like we're learning how to not be so impulsive. I feel like that's the advice. Like don't be impulsive. Don't jump the gun. Don't, rush things. There's no need to rush. Because when we're rushing, we're coming from a place of manipulation or control. We want it to go our way. We want to make sure it happens before maybe we take this next move, or it's like that's the message. And I'm feeling a lot of energy in my throat chakra too. So it's like there's no need to rush forward or be impulsive just because you're scared and want to control. So recognize yourself when you want to like especially when you get I'm just getting this energy of like impulsiveness when you want to like rush forward. I don't know, even on the horse, he's a little erratic looking. So one more there. What's your advice with the Knight of Swords in this? The Fool. Okay, yeah, there's no need to rush towards this leap of faith. This is like a new beginning. This is taking a leap of faith. I love the Fool card. It's like a carefree energy. Just letting it happen when it happens rather than trying to force it is what I feel there. That's the advice. Take a leap of faith. You don't have to rush or manipulate or push things to happen. They can happen all on their own. Trust, believe, don't push. Because when we push, we're actually repelling, but what we're really learning is how to receive. Okay, and underneath the deck is 3 of Cups. So this is like celebration, joy, friendship, community, like get-togethers, gatherings, socializing. I really like this energy. Like feeling a sense of community, feeling like you belong. And that's great for the root chakra. And then underneath that is Judgment. So this is like awakening to a higher calling. Like this could be like just a spiritual awakening. This could be about forgiveness. This could be about vulnerability. It's just like awakening to a higher power. Feeling called by something higher than you. Okay, let's see. I want to do the other chakra insights and whispers of love. Do we need to know what this 10 of Cups here? Visualization, imagination, focus, experience, manifestation. Yes. So that's what I was saying. Like you have to generate this feeling of 10 of Cups on your own first, and you do that by visualizing, by, sitting in a quiet space. First, you have to get really clear. You can't manifest something unless you're really clear on what you want. So like I was saying, you have to reevaluate what this 10 of Cups means for you, and then practice embodying that feeling. You have to train your body to feel that energy of like abundance and happiness and like family, and you have to embody that feeling within yourself. And you do this by meditation. So like I said, kind of like with the impulsiveness and wanting to rush forward, it's like we're learning how to receive, because this is a very receptive card too. They're sitting in meditation. You see this stuff is like flooding down, and there's a full moon, which we just recently had in Gemini. And it's like we're learning that you don't have to like push, that we can allow things to happen. Like I was saying with the Fool there and not rushing forward, we're actually learning how to receive rather than to make things happen and to manipulate things and to control things. We're allowing ourselves to receive it by becoming it first. Okay, I like that there. So yeah, use your imagination. What would your happy family look like? And just start you can use your imagination to generate the feeling and then hold that feeling. And then try to hold it throughout the day. I think ask, what are we learning here with the World and Temperance? Yes, inner child, playfulness, lightheartedness, innocence, and wonder. I really like this card. And I was talking about the healing the inner child and healing the mother and father wounds. So especially with the World and Temperance, like I said, we're learning how to reparent ourselves so that we can be more playful, because a lot of people want playful relationships. They want fun and lightheartedness and joy. Those are things that we want. Like I want those things in my relationships. But like I said, you have to find that within yourself too. There's also a rainbow on this card, which you can hardly see. I don't know if you can even see it on this camera, but kind of right here. Like I was saying with the Ten of Cups, there's a rainbow too, so that might be a message. There's butterflies on this, and it's also associated with the color yellow in the solar plexus chakra. I like that with the, yeah. That makes so much sense too. And that's going to cause a lot of emotional healing. Like I was saying, like our attachment wounds and our abandonment wounds. And when we connect with our spirit, like the High Priestess here, and we connect with our guides, because I felt so much guidance around me, so much support around me. When we connect to that, we heal our abandonment wounds because we don't ever feel alone. Like we're always with spirit. And this frees us. So this isn't just like, it's like, I feel like a lot of what we're learning is like we don't have to do it all alone. Because sometimes I feel like maybe there's a lot of things we want to accomplish, but we feel like we can't do it all on our own. We're not meant to, or we're not always meant, we have to understand what codependency is, like relying too much on people, but also understanding that we work with spirit. And when you connect with your guides and you connect with your soul and you're taking action on the guidance they're giving you, you're co-creating. And you are being helped. You're just not being helped in a physical sense. You might want like a physical sense to it, so it seems like you're not doing all the work, but really spirit is doing the majority of the work if you ask them to, if you ask for their help. Otherwise you can feel very like trapped or alone, or like you can't do it, and you can be stuck in cycles. You have to just become more like trusting on them, like trust them. And that's what a lot of masculine I feel like are learning too, is how to trust their intuition. Because think about women, they've been neglected their emotions, but men have been taught to neglect their emotions for way longer, like for a really long time. So this is deeply embedded, and this keeps them trapped or feeling trapped because their emotions are trapped. When you free yourself from your emotions, then you free your mind. So really listening to your body right now. Rather than your mind, because it seems like the masculine energy is very caught up in anxiety. What do we need to know about that? Creativity, imagination, expression, originality, passion. So I feel like there's this around like the masculine energy of like creatively expressing themselves. Like I was just saying with the emotions, like a lot of masculines have not been taught, or a lot of men have not been taught to creatively express themselves. Or if they do, maybe they have fears of like judgment, or fears of, just not being accepted. And so they're really learning how to express themselves. I feel like as they do that, then they will learn how to free themselves as well. Because the creativity is associated with the throat chakra, and our words are intentions. So recognize how you speak about things. If you're complaining about things a lot, that's creating more to complain about. Like if you're, it's just like becoming aware of how you speak and how you use your words. I like that. What about the feminine energy here? Funny, relationships, intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. Like this is also related with this sacral chakra, like the feeling connected intimately. And this is also, like I was saying, this isn't just relationships with physical people either. This is relationships with your body, relationships with your intuition and your guides. And they really help you to heal your relationships externally, because you're committing to a relationship with spirit first. And then you shift your whole beliefs around what you receive. Because, like I said, spirit never tires of helping you. They never tire of supporting you. They'll always be there for you. And this really helps you feel more safe and trusting in physical relationships. That way you're not always sabotaging relationships, because you subconsciously have this fear of like you're going to be abandoned or you're going to be left, and so you're constantly creating scenarios in your head that keep you stuck from being intimate and connecting with people, because you're actually pushing it away, because a lot of people don't feel worthy of that deep love. So that's what I was saying, when you have to train your body to receive that love. A lot of times we'll want to reject it because we don't feel worthy of it. So what we have to do is work on our, healing our inner child, which helps us have like self-esteem and confidence, because we're connecting to the part of us that is source. The inner child to me is the part of us that is source, which I also associate with God, because it's purity. And then this balances our very ego adult self. So it's not just about being very childlike. It's just about incorporating our inner child, so we're a little bit more balanced And our inner child is very receptive because they're connected to spirit, and they haven't formed the ego yet. So by connecting with our inner child, we really learn how to reparent ourselves and become more balanced within our energies. Cool. So we'll have our inner child with us that like keeps things lighthearted and playful. We have our mother, our feminine energy that's balanced, and we feel very nurturing. We know how to take care of our inner child. We know how to take care of ourselves, and we have our inner father that takes those action steps that is assertive and guiding and encouraging to get us through those, so that we do take action. And then we become more balanced within ourselves, and then we attract more balanced relationships. Because I feel like a lot of people feel in the relationships right now like one person is giving all their energy, but they don't feel like they're receiving anything at all. But really what they're learning how to do is how to receive. But they have to learn to receive their own love first in order to receive love from another. Like I said, it's a lot easier to receive love from others than to give love to ourselves. We want to give love because we think that if we give, then they will give back to us. You can't give and then give. It's like giving and receiving, giving and receiving. We're learning how to do that now instead of it only being one way. We're a very masculine dominated society, and so we want to constantly give, and we feel like if we open up to receive and we don't give as much anymore, that we're never going to receive. And so like it'll sabotage if someone wants to rush forward because we want to receive that love, and we don't think that if we wait a little bit that we will receive it. It's like in that time you have to learn how to nurture yourself and care for your inner child just to make sure it's loved, because when your inner child feels loved, you feel universally loved. You don't need something outside of you to love you in order to feel love. You just connect with your inner child and you feel love. Well, that's a really, takes a lot of persistent action to take the steps, because sometimes our inner child is going to want to do things that our logical, rational mind can't really understand, but we have to do it in order to heal that part of us. We have to trust it. We have to listen to it. And when we do that, then we form a very strong connection with our inner child. And we don't feel abandoned, All right, what is your advice here? Gut instincts, intuition, knowing, sensing, trust. I love this card because I just love the lion there. Yeah, and this is totally like with the Fool, and they're both very yellow. Sensing, trusting, knowing, taking a leap of faith, trusting your instincts, going for it, and feeling empowered, feeling strong about it. Underneath the deck is personal boundaries. So really learning how to set boundaries. And this can be really hard to do, especially if you grew up in dysfunctional families. It's really hard to set boundaries. Because when you do, you'll feel guilty at first. Or they might be upset. If you set a boundary and somebody gets upset about it, that's how you know that the boundary was necessary. So it might feel really uncomfortable. Actually, I know it will feel very uncomfortable, but it's how you learn, because the solar plexus chakra is associated with self-respect. And what teaches us is how to respect ourselves. When we have boundaries, we respect ourselves. We feel a lot less resentment in relationships when we can have boundaries. And we learn how to take care of ourselves, because if we're constantly just expecting our partner to take care of us, we'll always feel this sense of it's never enough, because we have to fill that cup ourselves. I'm not saying it's not, we can always receive love from other people, but when we're dependent on that feeling from them, if we can't generate that feeling without them, then that's how we know it's an attachment. All right. So what do we need to know with this visualization? Ton of Cups here. Listen with your heart. Are you listening to what is being said to you? You are listening to what is being said to you, but need to listen with a loving heart. Interesting. I'm going to get another one there. What else do we need to know with this? With listen with your heart. Be authentic to who you are. You are asked to be real and true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. And so getting really clear on who you are so that you can get really clear, like I was saying, on your 10 of Cups energy and practicing visualizing that. So just being true to who you are and practicing becoming that. Because as you take those steps to align with who you are, then you become a more elevated, a more evolved version of you over time. It doesn't happen overnight. It comes with consciously choosing to take little steps to reveal more of who you are and to release parts of you. Kind of like I was saying, like we can be scared to let go of those things we become identified with because they're so familiar, but learning how to let them go so that we can free ourselves and expand. Right? What about this inner child in the world? Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. Like that with inner child. So I kind of feel like it's just like, it's kind of like the love language is what I hear. So really understanding and learning what your love language is and learning how to take action from that and learning what other people's love language is so that you can love them better and act how they need in order for them to know that you love them, because it's going to be important to remember in relationships that we all need to be loved differently. So if we don't know how we need to be loved, then it's going to be very hard for us to express this and tell our partner how we need to be loved. And then we might feel neglected, we might feel abandoned, which is also just repeating the wound from the early childhood, and really learning and really taking action on how we need to love ourselves so that we can teach others how to do the same thing. One more there, though. Demonstrate love. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it. That's basically the same repeated message and something I literally just said. Kind of hard to see. All right, what about the masculine energy with creativity and the Eight of Swords? I love you. These are very important words. So maybe like the masculine's really learning how to communicate their love, how to express their love openly, vulnerably, confidently, freely, and individually, like in their own creative expression, because we had expression, imagination, originality. So like, yeah, learning how to really say the words, I love you. I like that. That's beautiful. It can be really hard, I'm sure, for men to express their love, even towards like their own family or, especially when they're cut off from their own love and they're not loving themselves. It can be hard, I'm sure. And then we have the throat chakra there too. So really learning how to communicate those words without fear. What else about I love you? Be willing to express love. We have expression again. When we express love, we begin to receive more love. I like that. That feels relevant there too. Expression is a highlight for the masculine, it seems like right now. Learning really how to express themselves authentically and lovingly. Okay, shoot. What do we need to know with relationships with the feminine energy here? Love is all around you. There is love everywhere, all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. I like that. There's like lions and butterflies. It feels like it's like I was saying, kind of healing that abandonment one. And knowing that love is always around you. That love doesn't just come from relationships, it comes from being able to generate that feeling of love and find that feeling of love within yourself and connecting to that feeling. And that love is never withheld from you. What else there? Back to what you love. Your current situation is giving you an opportunity to reevaluate what you want. I like this too with energy. I like the more birds and butterflies. But yeah, it feels like it's giving you an opportunity to reevaluate what you want your relationships to look like with yourself, with your body, with your family, and intimate romantic relationships, and even friendships. So it's like really, when you get back to what you love, you align with the right people, you align with the right relationships, and that can bring you a sense of, intimacy and connection. All right, what is your advice with gut instincts here? Have patience. Love is patient and kind always. I love this card. It's beautiful. It's like a lotus, and there's a little child there. And the element of water. So connecting to water is really important, I think, when it's when we're learning to be patient, because it kind of goes with the flow. It doesn't force, it doesn't push. Although it is very powerful. Like I said, you don't have to manipulate it in any way. It always takes the path least resistant. And so That's kind of what patience allows you to do, is to take the path least resistant. Because if we're not patient, we want something like kind of like the Knight of Swords there, that wants, sometimes we want it to look a certain way outside of us before we have that feeling within us. And so it can make us want to force and want to push. And we're like, I can't feel joy, or I can't feel happiness, or I can't feel love unless I have this, and I can't feel it unless it looks a certain way. Or, it's like, have patience. When you have patience, this allows you to accept the present moment for what it is and surrender. One more there, which is also associated with water. Physical touch is important. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. Yeah, so really just being really compassionate with yourself, and maybe being very central with yourself, like giving yourself a hug, or giving yourself a pat on the back, or asking for a hug, or, just really connecting with your body, because this feels like a very earthy card. So like in this time of when you're like up in the air and you're like taking a leap of faith, and you don't really know how it's going to end up, instead of worrying or trying to rush forward and cling, just like ground yourself and connect with your physical body, touch your body. And then appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. Also number 33. So yeah, really finding, like I was saying, like finding peace in the present moment by appreciating and having patience, which is hard. Okay, I'm going to do one from the Journey of Love, and then I'm going to end. Okay. All right, Spirit, one last message. What do we need to know right now in regards to relationships? Okay, too many fell out. Spirit, what do we need to know? Legacy of Light, number 53. Kind of some earthy colors on there. 53. You are called to bear light, to carry forward the legacy of a spiritual lineage of wisdom and deep service to the earth. You are part of the spiritual lineage, a belonging that extends through generations past and generations yet to come. Honor the importance of your task and realize that you are a light bearer, that you carry a legacy of consciousness and embodiment of light upon this earth to share for the betterment of future generations. May the ancestors of your lineage bless you with unconditional love and devotion as you carry the light forward now. Blessed be. This oracle says to you that you have connected more powerfully with a source of spiritual guidance and instruction that is helping you fully activate your divine life mission and purpose. It is confirmation, this is bizarre. It is confirmation that however you are choosing to live your life is in the service to the light, whether it to be obviously so to others or not, and that your personal growth and spiritual path are helping the greater human soul evolve. You are acknowledged as a jewel of light upon this earth, an important link in a heavenly chain of divine awakening. This oracle also brings confirmation, if needed, that relationship issues that are arising for you now are not only about your own personal healing, but about healing the emotional legacy of your ancestral lines. That's amazing. To do this, you may wish to journal, dance, or meditate, or dedicate a yoga practice to the healing of your ancestral inheritance, and ask that your own relationships be assisted through the karmic grace of your ancestors to step into more consciousness of love now. That felt so relevant. And like just reading it kind of felt powerful. I measure time in years and memories and good friends. Thanks for helping me to see I can count the special ones on my hand, that I can count on you. That's beautiful. I hope this was a helpful message for you. I do private readings, so if you would like to book one, you can go to my Instagram page, which I'll leave all the information below. There's a button that you can email me, and my service prices are also listed on there too. So I will be back next time, and I'm sending you so much love. Thank you.